This is John Groves coming to you from my home studio for our companion art piece on the subject of Armageddon, the last in our series on the topic of war. I want to discuss with you a painting by the French artist Gustave Doré. This artist lived between 1832 and 1883, and among his many works is a series of 241 wood print black and white illustrations on biblical themes. These were completed in 1866 and won him great acclaim. They were included, that is, published in a then recent French translation of the Latin Vulgate Bible. As part of this series, he prepared an illustration entitled The Last Judgment. A year or two later, he executed a painting he titled The Triumph of Christianity Over Paganism. These two works are very similar. The painting exhibits a figure of Christ holding a cross. In the original woodcut, the central figure has wings and is holding a sword. I have chosen the painting because it is simply more luminous and colorful. The original painting is now part of the Joy and Toby Tannenbaum collection at the Art Gallery of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Notice the luminosity of the painting with the Christ figure and the warriors all dressed in white, as described by John of Patmos in his vision, and reported in the book of Revelation. And while these images in the painting do not conform in all respects to the details in John's description in Revelation, they do give us a sense for his interpretation of these descriptions. The warriors are wielding swords and giving every impression of having subjugated their foes below. The layered effect with the glow of the light behind the Christ and his warriors creates the illusion of an army so numerous it simply cannot be defeated. And the circular arrays of the figures, both victors and vanquished, create a visual effect that profoundly fills the canvas, as if separating the world of eternal salvation from that of the damned. These are very traditional descriptions, I might add, for this painting in question and for traditional interpretations of the book of Revelation. But I want us to appreciate the fullness of Christ's victory in this, I'll say, montage of images. An aspect of belief in traditional Christianity that has endured generations and was meant to propel the faithful to resist undue influences, torture sometimes, martyrdom, for the sake of the kingdom. And I think that Mr. Doré has done a fine job in giving us that impression of how the heavenly kingdom would in essence be ushered on earth with the forces of good prevailing over those of evil. For people wanting to adhere to a unity thought, think instead perhaps of how often we are in conflict with ideas that cannot easily be reconciled. And perhaps this is a situation where we simply must accept that higher thoughts in consciousness ought to prevail and ultimately will prevail over baser instincts that we might harbor. So it's in that spirit, adhering to Charles Fillmore's, I'll say, nomenclature and methodology of his metaphysical interpretation of the Bible, that we can turn to I also liken it to the concept of jihad that the Sufis among Muslims bring to us. The Sufis differ from their Shiite and Sunni counterparts in that they regard jihad not as a war against infidels, but as an internal cleansing, in essence, a war against our baser instincts in an effort to turn us out into the best individuals we can be. And this is through a process, and I might say, call it self-purgation, but it's more in the realm of mind, in the realm of the spirit, being able to aspire to greater expressions of good in our world for the betterment of all humankind. Thank you. Until next time.